08:30 hours, June 1st, 1862, Crow River Bridge. Union and Confederate batteries engage in counter-battery fire. E Battery, 1st New York, are temporarily silenced after a hit. 1st Brigade, under the watchful eyes of Brigadier Taylor and General Slocum, advanced down the East Road. 1st, 2nd and 3rd New Jersey in column, with the 4th New Jersey at the Murray Farm. 1st New York Cavalry are on the flank. Powder smoke obscuring the view from the Confederates' rear area. In the marshy ground to the east of the bridge, skirmishers from both sides open fire. Union skirmishers approach the bridge into the face of 12th Mississippi. 12th Mississippi send them a warming present. Looking west along the river. The Union skirmishers are pushed back from the bridge. It is Carter's battery that is temporarily put out of action by Union guns this time. 3rd Brigade wheel and prepare to deploy. 1st Brigade continue their advance. An overall view of the bridge area. Colonel George Anderson, officer commanding Anderson's brigade, arrives and discusses the situation with Brigadier Robert Rhodes.
Colonel George Anderson rode up to find Brigadier Robert Rhodes. "I can't tell you how pleased I am to see you, George," Brigadier Rhodes shouted above the noise as 4th Virginia Battery fired another salvo. George replied, "Sir, I have 2 regiments on the road directly behind me. The remainder of my brigade is waiting on the Stockton road." He raised his binoculars and scanned the enemy troops across his front. "I have orders to reinforce you with 2 regiments and to move on west. But it seems you may need the whole brigade, sir." "I reckon I just might, George. There are just too many of them for my boys, even with the 2 regiments you mentioned. If the enemy breaks through here, they can move south to Clanfield or east through Stockton right down to Port Charles and Hampstead, with nothing in the way to stop them." Colonel George Anderson nodded. Sam's brigade with Dan Hill should be close to Appleton now. He may need to rethink his plans and head for Witten on the East Road if the enemy breaks through here. But that doesn't leave much to face the 2nd enemy column if, as indicated, it begins to advance down the West Road tomorrow morning. Robert fought to control his mount as another salvo hurled away across the river. "This is the immediate problem, George. We have to hold here, or I am afraid the whole peninsula will be lost." George saluted. "I will bring up the rest of my brigade, sir."
The artillery duel continues, though lessened somewhat as both sides are trying to redeploy damaged equipment. 3rd Brigade now mask their artillery as they form up close to the river and engage the enemy. A ringside seat for Wise's Legion cavalry. 1st Brigade move up behind their exhausted skirmishers in preparation to assault the bridge. 12th Mississippi can see only too clearly what is in store. Bob Rhodes gives instructions to the newly arrived 27th Georgia. 4th Virginia and Carter's batteries continue to engage. 5th Alabama watch grimly as the Union 3rd Brigade form up ahead of them. Skirmishers move aside to let 1st Brigade through on the road. The skirmish battle in the marsh continues. The advance of Union 1st Brigade seen from the position of 27th Georgia. Union 3rd Brigade, almost in position, the whole division will attack. The sheer weight of numbers will, they hope, force the rebels to give way. The scene is 09:15 hours, June 1st, 1862. Some shots of the 27th and 28th Georgia arriving as reinforcements. "31st New York and the 95th Pennsylvania move up to the riverbank and engage 5th Alabama and the two batteries of Carter and the 4th Virginia, respectively. 1st New Jersey assault the bridge into withering musketry from 12th Mississippi. 27th Georgia forms up behind 12th Mississippi, whilst 28th Georgia moves to support 5th Alabama on the left flank. 31st New York and 5th Alabama take losses in the exchange. Carter's battery also suffers, but amazingly the 95th Pennsylvania takes minor hits after taking canister from two full batteries. 1st New Jersey assault the bridge and suffer losses from the salvo delivered by 12th Mississippi. The thick of the action. A storm of lead flies across the river. 28th Georgia form up behind 5th Alabama, who take another loss, but inflict losses on the 31st New York. The rest of Anderson's brigade begin to arrive. 4th North Carolina and the 49th Virginia. Vicious hand-to-hand fighting on the bridge as 1st New York charge into the 12th Mississippi. Both regiments suffer losses. 1st New Jersey almost across the bridge. Their heroics cost them dearly. 95th Pennsylvania score hits on each of the two enemy batteries, but suffer themselves from canister fire. The current situation on the battlefield.
Brigadier General Slocum looked at the carnage taking place on the bridge. He turned to Brigadier Bill Taylor, who commanded 1st Brigade. More and more of the enemy are arriving, which is bad for us, but exactly what our mission was intended to do. If, and that is a big if, the enemy force in the peninsula is a reduced division according to intelligence, then most of it is now before us. That would leave the west road virtually clear for the rest of the corps to advance. If we keep the enemy busy here, Bill, we will have no need to take the bridge, as General Franklin will appear in their rear. That damn bridge is a bottleneck for sure, Bill replied. If we could just get a couple of regiments across, we could surely defeat the enemy ourselves, sir. That is true enough, but I have no intention of throwing away this division to achieve something that may well be achieved very easily within 2 or 3 days, with far fewer casualties. No, Bill, it's my intention to fall back. The enemy have seen our power and what we're capable of. That should ensure their forces facing us remain in position should we choose to attack again. Of course, the enemy need to think that at all times. We will ensure they are kept busy.